Hi, it's Martha of Just Martha Designs, and today we're going to be making a very magical card. And before I get started with the content of this video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Just click on the subscription down below, click subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified anytime that I upload new content. Now, today we're going to be using the magical mermaid stamp from Stampin' Up, and we're going to be creating a window card. And I'm going to walk you through how to build this card, but I want to let you know that if you purchase the stamp set through me, that's through clicking the link down below in the description. If you click on the link and you purchase your stamp set through me, I will actually send you the card materials, such as the paper supplies and the envelopes that you need to create 8 cards. So that's just by purchasing the stamp set through me. But you'll find the link to that down below. But I'm going to walk you through everything that you need, and if you have the stamp set already and you're wanting to follow along, or you're wanting to create one on your own, I will have a list of supplies listed on my website, and that's also in the link down below. So check it out. And now we'll get started with the card. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to do to get started to put the card together is you're going to need your base, and you can go ahead and fold your base and score it. I'm just going to use my thumb to score it, and you can set that aside, and this way this is ready to go, and it's all ready for you to start like putting the items on. So in order to make the card, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to need not only all your materials together, but first thing you're going to need is, I would take care of the transparency sheet. So this is like a clear window sheet, and my clear window sheet is cut down to it's 5 inches by 3 6/8. And what you're going to do with the clear transparency sheet, and I don't know if you can like see this or not, but I have a clear transparency sheet. I'm going to stamp on this with some StazOn on the top, and the StazOn black works really well for clear transparencies. Anything that would probably like smear, this works really well. And I'm going to use a smaller block for this one. Turn this one sideways. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to create that little layer. And so I'm going to take my StazOn, and you're going to want to do this first because you want this kind of dry before you start working with everything to keep it from smearing. And so I'm going to put one on this side, and one on this side. And you can use like the stamp apparatus if you want to make sure that you don't have this happen over here. Like, this is really bad. I don't know if I'll be able to like double stamp. No, it's not going to work out well. But if you use like the stamp apparatus, you'll be able to stamp it in the same place twice, and you won't have to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to put my StazOn away. I need that to dry. before I flip it over to do something else to it. And while that is drying, I'm going to take some Memento some Whisper White, and I'm going to take my Mermaid, and I'm going to use Memento because I'm going to use some alcohol markers in order to color her, and the Memento Tuxedo Black will not smear with the alcohol markers. Apply the Memento. And stamp her on here. So there she is, and she's ready to color. Set that on the side. And check. Make sure this is dry. Okay, it is. I'm going to take this sheet, and where I have already stamped it, it's ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my frame. Now, I've cut out two pieces. One is in the Pacific Point cardstock, that is my outer frame, and then I have some of the Pool Party that'll go on the inside, just like that. But I need to adhere this to this, and I'm going to use that with some tear and tape. But my frame is actually cut down to the same size. It's 3 6/8 by 5, and you'll find all of this on my blog. But I'm going to go ahead and put this around there. If by chance you purchase the stamp through me, I will send you the kit so that you can make 4 cards, and this will already be on there. I'm going to go ahead and apply my tearing tape. This is awesome stuff. And just go ahead and peel off these little strips. And to make these frames, I'll go ahead and say, to make the frames, you can either cut down the cardstock and then cut it and leave yourself a nice little 3/8 inch border, or however big of a border that you'd like to have for yours. I'm actually using, make sure that I put the stamp side to the, so I'm actually using, I have a 3/8 inch border around mine just because I wanted to make sure that I hide everything really well. And this tear and tape is very sticky. Okay, so that is attached. And I actually did a little overlap, so I'm going to trim that off. Because I did not line things up as well as I thought I did. That's okay. Alright, so I now have my window panel completed. Look at there, my little, it's going to drive me crazy right there. I can see it. Alright, so that's ready to go. Everything is in place all the way around, and the train comes through. Wouldn't you know that? Okay, so now that the train has passed, it's still rumbling, but the horn's not blowing. So, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this part. And same thing, I have this, and I'm going to clean it off just a little bit. Make sure that, well, it's already dried on there, so. Alright, so I have this already set up, and I'm going to, actually I'm going to layer this a little differently. I'm going to put that aside for right now. So now that the train is passed, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my pool party, and I'm going to take these other little, the other little stamp that I'm using, and this is like the little bubbles, and I'm going to put some bubbles in the background. And everything on this is going to be in the Bermuda Bay, and I don't have a large Bermuda Bay yet. It's on my wish list of things, but I wanted to use this up first. Alright, so I'm going to take this, and I want some background bubbles. So I'm just going to get some bubbles in the background and create a little bit more depth. And then I'm going to take the one that we put on the front, and in the Bermuda Bay, stamp this up, ink it up real well, and I'm going to put this at the bottom here. pressure. Alright, so that. I'm going to do another one on the other side, because what we're trying to do is create some depth. Even though we're using, we're making the window, and we're going to use the foam strips, we're wanting to create some depth. So we're wanting it to look a little 3D here. And it doesn't matter if this does not line up with the window, because you want that depth. Okay, so I'm finished with this one. This is ready to add on top. And we'll set that aside because we're going to finish up our mermaid now. Now I'm using a combination of the Stampin' Blends with my Spectrum Noir. And I'm going to start off and I'm going to color my mermaid. And I'm using the TN2 in the Spectrum Noir for her skin. And I know that this probably looks very dark, but don't worry about it. It will fade, or lighten rather, not fade. It will lighten up. Then for her hair, I'm going to use the TN5. Oops, wrong end. I'm going to use the TN5 for her hair. And if you want to use like watercolor or something like that, you can do that. That's okay. Or you can use watercolor pencils, or you can use the colored pencils if you'd like. However you'd like to color this. If you use the watercolor or colored pencils rather, you could just use the basic black to stamp this in. That'd be fine. And if you want to create a little bit of dimension to this, you can also turn around and use the oh gosh, my mind went completely blank. If you want to use a little bit of dimension to this, you can also use like the embossing powder. Look at there. I mean, I guess maybe if I want to add, if I want to say something, I need to completely put that on my script. Okay, so there's her hair. And then I want to start to color her body for the little band around the top. I'm going to use, this is the light Highland Heather. I'm going to color her little band. And when I apply these, I actually have four different colors that I'm using. So I have the light Highland Heather, the light Granny Apple green in These are the Stampin' Blends. And then I also have in the Spectrum Noir, I have the PP5 and the TB3. And so I'm going to kind of use these to make it look as though it's kind of a nice little rainbow effect. And so I'm going to start with the TB3. And this is going to go in some of the places that would look like a shadow. And then I'm going to go with my light rainy apple green. And I'm going to kind of blend that in. And pull just a little bit more. And mix it in with that blue. And then the next one that I'm going to use is the light, and I probably should have went this after the blue, but that's okay. Thought it would mix better with the pink. Everything else is going to be the PP5. And I'm going to color that in really well with that light Highland Heather. And then I'm going to go back with some blue. Blender. Okay. Now this is going to have to dry before we put the Wink of Stella on top, just because I want this completely dry. You can go ahead and cut this out, which is what I'm going to do right now. All right, so now that I have her cut out, I'm going to show you a little trick. So you can take like a dark color pen, because this is the one that I've already like colored her hair with. If you go around the edge of it, and you can do this even in a black if you want to, and you run it around all those little white edges, just like so. To the corner. It helps your image to kind of pop. And this is with anything that you cut out. Just kind of roll the image around that edge and cover up that white, and so it helps it kind of pop out and stand out. Alright, so I have this completed and it is dry, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Wink of Stella, and I want her to be all nice and shiny. And this is the clear Wink of Stella. And it's really hard to see, I mean, but she kind of glitters. Well, it's applying glitter, but she's shiny. Alright, set that aside, and we're going to go ahead and start assembling everything. So, she needs to be attached to this, but I also want to go ahead and put my sentiment on there, and I'm going to use the Have a Magical Birthday, so I'm making this into a birthday card. And I'm going to use the same thing, the Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to, instead of, I'm going to put the sentiment right inside here. And then I'm going to take the memento, and I'm going to line this up as best as I can, because I want a nice little shadow. Right over the top. Just like so. And like I said, it's easier to do when you're doing this with the Stamparatus. But it's okay. Turned out fabulous. So it looks a little 3D there. I'm going to take and put some Stampin' Dimensionals on her, so that she pops up off this background. And then for the card, I have the foam adhesive strips. I'm going to use these. And I will peel this off. Well, me trying to get everything centered up. Okay, go ahead and attach that. Then I'm going to take my card base, which was my Whisper White, and I will attach this. And you can just use the tape runner. Center that up. And there you have it. Your Magical Mermaid window card. And so it's complete. And if you want to make your envelope match, there's a little mermaid stamp that comes with the kit that you can actually put that in there and make your everything kind of coordinate. So you put a little mermaid on the back. So there you have it. Make sure that if you haven't subscribed to my channel that you subscribe down below and hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload new content. And I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, enjoyed this class. Remember, if you order the Magical Mermaid stamp through me, through my website, and that link is down below, I will send you a kit with these pre-cut frames and the paper materials and envelopes for you. The kit does not include markers. Those things are things that you'll have to provide on your own, but I will provide you with the paper kit and the frame that already has the tear and tape on there. But I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you. Have a blessed day.